All right, so are you ready to have your mind blown? Because on today's deep dive, we're talking about twinkling stars.
Twinkling stars.
Yes. That question you sent in about why they twinkle, we've got some seriously cool sources.
Oh, cool.
And let me tell you, the answer goes way deeper than you might think.
Really?
We even found this ancient Chinese text.
Wow.
It tackles it from both a scientific and philosophical perspective. So
that's interesting.
get ready to see the night sky in a whole new light.
Awesome.
So it's amazing how something we see every night can spark such profound questions about how we understand the world.
Yeah.
Like on the surface, the science is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
This source explains that stars twinkle because their light has to travel through the Earth's atmosphere.
Oh, okay, I see.
Before reaching our eyes.
Right.
Like imagine shining a laser pointer through a glass of water.
Okay.
The light bends right.
Uh-huh.
That's refraction.
Yeah.
Now imagine that water is constantly swirling and changing density. That's basically what's happening in Earth's atmosphere.
I see.
With all these different layers of air bending and scattering starlight.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of crazy.
So it's not the stars themselves changing.
Nope.
But our view of them is distorted.
Exactly. It's like looking through one of those wavy funhouse mirrors.
Yeah. And that shows a fundamental truth about our perception.
Okay.
Our senses can be tricked.
Even sight.
Yeah, even something as reliable as sight.
Wow. So what LSE might we be misinterpreting?
Right.
That is deep.
It is.
So we perceive twinkling,
Yes.
but the underlying reality is constant starlight.
Precisely. And this is where the philosophical side comes in.
Okay.
It uses this star example to challenge us. Are senses really giving us the full picture?
Ooh, I'm hooked. What kind of alternative ways of seeing the truth does it propose?
Well, it throws out a few options.
Okay.
But the one that really stood out to me was the exploration of science.
Science.
Yes.
As a path to a more truthful world.
Exactly.
So can science cut through the atmospheric haze and show us the real deal?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Okay.
Science is amazing at explaining the how.
Like how the atmosphere distorts the light?
Exactly. Like it nails down the mechanics of atmospheric distortion causing twinkling.
Okay, so it tells us how it works, but does it get us to the why? Like, what is a star's essence beyond all that scientific breakdown?
You're asking the really interesting questions.
Thanks.
The text actually suggests that maybe, just maybe, science can only give us an approximate truth.
Approximate?
Yes.
You mean like science gets us close?
Yes.
But not quite all the way there.
It's a humbling thought, right?
It is.
This incredibly powerful tool we have for understanding the universe might have its limitations.
Wow.
And the text really makes you grapple with the implications of that.
Like if science can't give us the whole truth, should we even rely on it?
Yeah.
Or is it still the best tool we've got?
And that leads us to a whole other set of questions.
Oh, no.
The text dives into questions about the nature of truth itself.
Oh, wow.
Is a complete, perfect understanding even possible? Or is the journey of exploration with all its uncertainties, approximations, more valuable than any definitive answer?
Okay, now you're really making me think.
Good.
So maybe it's not about reaching the summit,
Right.
but about appreciating the view along the way.
Exactly. And the text actually suggests that embracing this idea of partial truths.
Partial truths.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might not be a limitation, but rather a pathway.
To what?
To a more nuanced, humble, and ultimately a more creative approach to knowledge.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see those twinkling stars in a whole new light now.
Really?
Not just as distant points of light.
Yeah.
But as reminders that there's always more to learn, more to discover, and that the pursuit of understanding is an ongoing journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like we're all explorers. You know?
Explorers.
Yeah, navigating uncharted territory.
I like that.
And that sense of wonder. Yeah.
That drive to understand what we don't yet know.
Yeah.
That's where things get exciting.
So you're saying that even though science might not have all the answers,
right,
the search is what's valuable.
Exactly. The text even goes a step further.
Oh, really?
It suggests that accepting the possibility of only ever grasping partial truths.
Partial truths.
Yeah.
Might actually be liberating.
Liberating.
Think about it.
Okay.
If we let go of the need for absolute certainty, it opens up space for more humility.
humility. Yep.
More curiosity, and ultimately more creativity in how we approach knowledge.
I see.
It allows us to embrace the mystery and wonder of the universe.
Okay.
Without feeling like we need to have it all figured out.
So instead of getting hung up on finding the answer, we can focus on asking questions.
Yes.
And exploring possibilities.
Exactly. And the text highlights 2 key ingredients for this.
2 ingredients.
Yes, for this kind of open-minded exploration.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What are they?
Trust and curiosity.
Well, trust and curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay, break that down for me.
Sure.
How do those come into play when we're talking about something as vast as the universe?
Well, on the one hand, we have to trust that there is an underlying order to the universe.
Even if we don't get it yet.
Even if we don't fully grasp it yet.
Yeah. So it's like having faith that the puzzle pieces fit together.
Yes.
Even if we haven't found them all.
Exactly. Without that trust. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the vastness of it all.
I could see that.
But then curiosity.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us searching for those missing pieces.
So trust is the foundation, and curiosity is what keeps us going.
I like that analogy.
Thanks.
But how do we actually cultivate those things?
Especially when faced with so much uncertainty.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
The text doesn't have easy answers.
Okay.
But it encourages us to consider the impact of our own perceptions.
Our perceptions?
Remember how we were talking about how our senses can be fooled?
By the twinkling stars.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it made me realize what I see isn't always the whole story.
Right, and so the text asks us to consider...
Consider what?
If our senses can be unreliable.
Okay.
What other internal filters might be shaping our understanding?
Oh, like assumptions or biases?
Exactly what assumptions or biases might be preventing us from seeing things clearly?
That's a tough one.
It is.
It's like, how do we even know what we don't know?
Right.
How can we be sure we're not letting our own preconceived notions cloud our judgment?
It's a constant process of self-reflection and critical thinking.
Okay.
The text emphasizes questioning our assumptions.
Okay.
Seeking out diverse perspectives. And being willing to adjust our understanding.
As we learn more.
Yes, as we encounter new information.
So it's not about clinging to what we think we know.
Right.
But being open to being wrong.
Exactly. Embracing that uncertainty and recognizing that learning is a journey.
And maybe that's where the magic is? Yeah, in the continual process of discovery, refining our understanding, peeling back the layers of truth.
Beautifully put. It's about embracing the journey, the wonder and the mystery of it all.
I love that.
And, you know, the text suggests that this kind of exploration can have a profound impact on our lives.
Really?
Even beyond science.
Beyond science. How so?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
If we approach every aspect of our lives with curiosity and a willingness to challenge our assumptions, imagine the possibilities.
I like where you're going with this.
So it's not just about understanding the universe.
It's about understanding ourselves.
Precisely. The text encourages us to apply these principles.
Of trust and curiosity.
Yes, to our relationships, our careers, our personal growth.
Wow. Every facet of our existence.
Exactly.
This is amazing.
It is.
We started with a simple question about twinkling stars.
I know, right?
And now we're talking about the nature of truth and understanding ourselves.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
How something we often take for granted can spark such profound reflections.
On perception, truth, and learning itself.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning.
There's so much more to unpack here.
Yes.
And I think the text does a great job of giving us the tools and the inspiration to keep digging, to keep asking questions.
Absolutely.
And to keep marveling at the wonders of the universe, both big and small. You know, it's funny, before this deep dive, I never really thought much about twinkling stars.
Yeah.
They were just kind of there.
I know what you mean.
But now, every time I look up at the night sky, I'm going to be thinking about all this stuff we've talked about.
It really changes your perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
Those twinkling stars aren't just pretty, you know?
Right.
They're a constant reminder that there's so much more out there.
Than we can see.
Than meets the eye, yes. And that our journey of understanding never really ends.
It's kind of amazing how much we rely on our senses.
To make sense of the world, yeah.
And how they can sometimes be so misleading.
Like with the stars.
Yeah, the stars themselves are actually changing.
Right.
It's just our perception.
That creates the twinkling effect.
Exactly. And the text encourages us to be a little skeptical. Like to question what we think we know.
Oh, yeah.
And be open to other possibilities.
It's like there might be more to reality than we can see right now.
Exactly.
But then there's also that idea of trust
Trust.
Yeah, trusting that there's some kind of order to the universe.
Even if we don't understand it all yet.
Exactly. It's a balance, isn't it?
It is.
Holding on to that wonder and curiosity, but also knowing that we don't see everything.
So how do we find that balance?
How do we embrace the unknown without freaking out?
Yeah.
Well, the text says maybe we should focus on the exploration itself.
Not just trying to get to the right answer.
Right. Enjoy the journey, even if it takes you to some unexpected places.
That makes sense, because if we're too focused on the answer, we might miss out on other cool things.
You might miss the little things, yeah.
And we have to remember that what we think is true
could change.
Yeah. It could be totally different tomorrow.
As we learn more.
As we see things from new perspectives.
Exactly. It's like we're always building on our knowledge, you know?
Adding new puzzle pieces.
And sometimes you have to rearrange the pieces you already have.
This deep dive has been amazing.
It has been fun.
Now when I look at the stars, it's different.
How so?
It's not just about how pretty they are. They make me think about how much we don't know.
And all the possibilities.
Exactly, and how much there is to explore.
It's a good reminder.
So to everyone listening, next time you see a twinkling star.
Yes.
Think about what we talked about today.
Let it inspire you.
Embrace the unknown. Keep asking questions and never lose that sense of wonder.
Keep looking up and keep exploring. Who knows what you might find out there.